So let's talk about the Victoria's Secret Fashion Show 2025. The Victoria's Secret Fashion Show had real swimsuit models in real swimwear with the wings and all of our favorite Victoria's Secret classic fashion models walking down the runway. And this time, the event was filled with not just nostalgia, but it was like weeks worth of prep work where on all social media platforms, we got to go behind the scenes. Like, if you're following any of the models in real life, then you were able to see the workouts. You saw the food prep. You saw, the planning for the shoots. This is on TikTok, Instagram stories, Instagram posts. It was everywhere. Pretty hard to miss. So a lot of YouTube girlies like to do this sort of a day in the life or a week in the life. Let me try to live for a week like a Victoria's Secret model, because obviously there's a certain diet, there's a certain fitness plan. Like, you don't get that sort of body by doing nothing. And I think especially the model Candice Winepool has been getting so much attention. I mean, she's a gorgeous, gorgeous girl, but I think that more people who were not familiar with her got familiar with her now and saw like her workouts that she does and her meal plans and just how great she looked like walking down the runway. And that is aspirational. Like, most girls don't look like that because most girls don't eat like her. Most girls don't work out like her. Most girls are not taking care of themselves in the way that she is to look like that. Like, looking like that is a lifestyle. I think it's also very interesting. Like, I followed Adriana Lima at some moments. And if you actually go look back over the years, like after she had, certain children, she's actually gained a lot of weight and then will just go with she does it all the time where she'll get online and take you with her to work out and get back into shape, and you start to understand that it is legitimately a lifestyle. Like, these women are not just getting these really great bodies that have a very low percentage of body fat and very lean toned muscle by doing nothing. They are actually doing the Pilates classes, they are doing the weight training, they are doing, they are following very stringent diets, and most girls in society are not. And that's why most girls look like, and we will get into the next part of the show, the pink. So the pink was like the second portion of the show. And the pink version of the show was kind of like, the casual wear, the sweatpants, the sweaters, the sweatshirts, and they kind of had a little logo on them. But this was like where you start to see the influencers, the short girls, really anyone who seems to have like a social media presence. They seem to have walked this part of the show, and I have no issue with that. I think that that's completely fine. Um, I just feel like when I saw it for what it was, and like I wouldn't wear anything pink. I think pink is very cute for like the high school girlies. And there is a serious place in society for the high school girlies. There, like, how can I explain this? Certain things are age appropriate. Like, when I was in middle school and I was in high school, um it was so cool to just buy like the lip glosses from Victoria's Secret and then bring the small bag that you get from Victoria's Secret like to school and use it for like your lunch snacks and like cookies and stuff. It just made you feel really feminine, like really girly, because you shopped at Victoria's Secret or buying like the really smelly good lotions and stuff. But like when you're in middle school and high school, hopefully like you're not really having, you don't have like an active sex life yet. So you're not going to be able to wear like really the undergarments. And I don't like most of them, like maybe some of the things from the pink collection, because it's like sweatpants and sweatshirts, maybe some tank tops or some sports bras. But all the things that the angels were wearing with like, the push-up bras and the very sexy lingerie, like that's not stuff for middle schoolers or high schoolers, right? So those are like two different demographics. And I think that it's nice for Victoria's Secret to actually have like a new market that they've like opened up and used for like, if when I was in middle school and I saw the show as it was presented now, this would have been perfect for me because it would have been so clear the stuff that I could wear. Like when I saw this, like if I was in high school or middle school, the second part of the show would be like everything, right? Because you see bodies that look like your body, probably. It's very attainable. These are things you could actually wear to your school that your parents like would totally approve of. Like your mom would definitely let you get some sweatpants, you know what I'm saying, or like a sweatshirt. But like your parents are not going to let you get obviously like very sexy lingerie when you're like a middle schooler. That's not a thing. So I got what that was, but I do think it's important to make a distinction there. And this is one of the sort of talking points that I did hear from a lot of people who were like critical of the show. And I like that. They were basically saying like, I appreciate seeing high fashion angels on the runway during this show. And I think that that is very important. Like though those women work very hard to have those bodies and to like be in that space, right? It's like a year long process. And I think that like to those of us who are more, how do I say, like year round interested in the fashion aspect of it, it's like we've seen a lot of other shows, and there were some like high fashion girlies that were there as well, like Iman Haman obviously was also wearing wings, and if you follow her on Instagram, you were able to see her stories and watch her prepare for the show, do her workouts, do her shopping at the grocery store. Anak Yai also did the same thing. Candace Winepool posted even months before some of like her workouts, some of her diets, and so it's like very clear why and how the Victoria's Secret angels, who are adults, by the way, and I did see this as a criticism, but I don't think it's a criticism. Some people were saying that, yeah, these women are aging out of Victoria's Secret because they are in their 30s. Their late 20s, so now there needs to be new angels to come up. And I think a lot of people are actually missing it. There are definitely going to be new girlies. Like I think Iman Haman is like 26. So like obviously she's not like 40. And then there are some really classic angels who are like 40, and I think some of them are going on to be like 50. Like I think Adriana Lima's pushing like 50, or she's like in her 40s. Right, but those women look great. Like most women do not look like that. And also like a lot of those women are married with husbands, and like their husbands definitely want to see them in lingerie. And I think that some people are not understanding that in the real world there are also married people who have husbands, and their husbands also want to see them in lingerie. So those women selling that product for those bodies is like product market fit, right? So the influencers who have the like teenage bulky bodies and they're all like short and stubby and stuff, that's perfect for high schoolers because that's how high school girls, especially in America, look. So the pink market is perfect for them. I also thought it was really interesting to see oh my God, I'm forgetting this woman's name. The Latina woman who was the performer, but she had an extremely like curvy body, which I mean, it was kind of giving like Walmart mom a little bit. Maybe she's like a little bit more in shape than that, but it was definitely more of a, like a plus size sort of situation. And there were also some plus size women who were on the runway, right? And I think that like, I think that it was a positive thing for them to be there. Like, I don't think that that sort of like inclusiveness is bad, mostly because like I think it's important to think about who is buying the product and what the show is. There are girls of all size who actually like to wear the Victoria's Secret product, and the show is simply it's an experience for everyone. Like I'm pretty sure the brand wants to sell their product in all sizes. And so having those models there enables them to do that. There are people of every single size, including the size of the very, very thin, low body fat angels who are going to buy the clothes. Not many of them, obviously. But most girls do not look like Adriana Lima looked, or Bella Hadid looked, or Gigi Hadid looked. You know what I mean? Like those girls seriously have a model physique, and most people don't have that. and that is aspirational. Like, the other part of this argument that I heard that I do want to just echo is this idea that like the supermodels are supermodels because like most people don't look like them. Like n- most people don't look like that. So yeah, I kind of wanted to just make this video about that. I think that this is a pop culture moment that we should cover. And I'm going to put in the description box the two other videos that I saw talking about it, and I will put the link to the show this year. But I do think if you're on this channel, you should watch it just to see like what it is. I really hope that there are Black women who are following me, and there were some pretty awesome Black models on the runway. Another thing I saw that I did post about this morning, if you caught that. So, Yasmin, is it Wakanovich, walked down the runway. And I think that like some people seem to be confused about that because they called her like a high fashion girly and then said that she was not an angel, as though like the angels are not high fashion girlies. Um, how can I say this? The difference between like heroin chic high fashion models and the really thin Victoria's Secret angels are just boobs. That is the difference. It is very difficult to be a size 0 and your body type and then have like a D in a breast cup. That's like a very difficult measurement attainment to have. That's the thing that like the Victoria's Secret angels have, and they're very tall. That is what makes that special. But those women are already very small and very tall. so so yes, there was also Iman Ham in there who's extremely high fashion, and she walked it and it made sense. It was just kind of confusing to hear people say that, but also it was a little bit confusing because some people seem to say like they didn't know who these people were. And I think that I just wanted to pinpoint that argument out specifically because if you're here, I really do hope that you do know who she is, because first of all, that is Mona Tugard's best friend, or one of them. And she's like in one of Justy and Sky's music videos, In My Bag, where they were hanging out in New York, I think in Yasmin's apartment. um so, yeah, I thought that was like a really interesting critique, but I think it just goes back to kind of like what I've been saying for a while. There's kind of like tiers of beauty. There's something else I saw also yesterday I thought was interesting. There was a girl, she's a very young girl, and I guess her channel was new, but she posted beauty is power. And like she didn't know that before. Like she was making a statement that everyone else was confused about. And I think that the podcast bros on the internet and like Pearl and everyone else who just seems to be like the pussy police will have you out here believing that because, you know, women are monetizing and getting things out of society from men who provide things, or, you know, I don't know, selling photographs or something, that now they have no beauty. They're like less beautiful because of the interactions or the relationships that they've had with men. And that is not the case. So hopefully it kind of does become more clear to some people who have less amounts of pretty privilege that a picture is a picture, and that is what it is. And a video is a video, and that is what it is. And a story is a story, and that is what it is. And someone's real life is their real life, and that is what it is. And there's not really some distinct way to identify like what you believe to know about someone from a photograph and then what you've heard from someone else in relation to like what is real in their lives. So like it's kind of like thinking about a rumor or something, maybe that, not even maybe, I guess it happens a lot. Like I can think of like the Whatever podcast as being like a really good example of this. But there's like all these people in these panels saying this shit. Oh, this is true. Oh, this is true. Oh, she did that. Oh, she did that. Oh, you believe this. Believe that. Well, I mean, some people are just going on those things for clout and they're just making up stories. other people are living very wild lives and not saying anything about it at all. They just live that in the real world. Like, you don't really know, but they are all stories. So there's probably somebody in the world who that is true for. It's all kind of like relative, but the point is, if the picture is pretty, then the picture is pretty, and it just is. Like, so, like, when everybody's talking about pretty privilege, that is what it is. So somebody's like morality level is a bit different from that. Anyway, yeah, definitely wanted to cover that because I saw that video and I felt I had feelings. There's just two of them, and I don't know. I couldn't even watch the whole show. I thought that the pink part, yeah, like I said, I think that's for like middle school people, and that was just like not for me at all. So I just fast forwarded through it. But I thought that the beginning part was great. It was like, I think so many of us have had nostalgia just because like the Victoria's Secret show, especially in its like prime, just had like, it was like the coolest thing. It was like a moment in time. And then all of a sudden everyone split up and they put a bunch of like fat people on, and then no one wanted to see it anymore. And now all of a sudden they like brought back like the actual people that were on there. Anyway, yeah, so let me know what you guys think about that. I want to hear.